Greetings from the future. I've just wrapped up recording episode like 30 or so, and I'm going to edit episode 16, and I see that it looks like some of the footage from episode 16 has been cut. About the first hour is missing. The file didn't transfer correctly, and then it got deleted. So unfortunately, I'm missing the first hour of this episode that you're currently watching, episode 16. And so I'm recording from the future here to narrate a bit about explaining that and explain what is in that quick hour of what's missing before we can pick up where we left off on episode 16. Now, previously in episode 15, we had just finished getting the Stirling engines going and collecting the daytime air to turn into power at night, which is giving infinite power. And that's working nicely. And additionally, we used a similar logic to collect nighttime air and push that against the radiators that we have, or the energy exchange system we have with the hot steam, to cool off that steam and generate more water, finally starting to generate more water than we're using, and finally starting to build up a bit and have those ferns be useful. So that's a big point to have reached, and from there we're looking to immediately move into getting some deep mining going and collecting some resources from the ground, since this biome we're currently in has a composition of gold and silver, 0.66 gold, 0.33 silver. So we can pull that up out of the ground with deep miners, separate it with centrifuges, and then we can plug that into the existing system for processing resources and stocking them all. So that's what we're doing in this episode. And in the hour that is missing, you can see from the future things are going pretty good. The future's a beautiful place to be. We got cats. Get excited, little spoiler, small spoiler. Future's beautiful. Anyway, what were we doing? Episode 16. In that first hour of missing footage, we were looking to get the deep miners going and some centrifuges. So I believe we set up 1 or 2 deep miners just a little bit down here. These guys pull up that ore from the ground, send it into a silo to just collect it, keep a backlog, and then that comes in as unprocessed reagents. They get fed into a centrifuge. They get fed a little bit of fuel as well, pulling off our fuel line. And then the centrifuges can run to separate that reagent from dirty ore into usable gold and silver. So that's the goal of what we're doing. And it only takes that first hour or so to get these guys set up, plugged into a silo, plugged into centrifuges. And then what I had done at that point, I remember right where we left off, right before we'll switch over to the actual footage of episode 16. We had got this bit set up, and I needed to know how the centrifuge works. So I had just done a test run on the centrifuge and found that it looks like you can give it a little throttle, give it a little flick of gas, and then when it warms up more, just go full throttle. So that was pretty easy for a warm up. And then for a cool down, when you had enough reagents in there and you wanted to empty them, you have to slow it down. So for the cool down, you would pull the throttle all the way down, pull the gas all the way down, and then fluctuate the throttle very, very slightly when the stress got high to keep it from getting too high of stress. But that's about what we had missed. Pretty simple. And then with that manual process, we were able to process a little bit of reagents. So that is where I can pick up in episode 16 with the previous version of me from a couple weeks ago. He's about to start talking. He was standing right here. He had just done a manual run on a centrifuge with those 2 deep miners. Thinking about automating maybe. I don't know, let's find out. I have to apologize to YouTube, just started recording again. I missed a little bit of recording there. I think I missed a bit while I was setting up the centrifuges. And mostly just doing like a manual run on them to see how they work. Trying to figure out how we're going to program them. So that's the more interesting bit. I think we can get that started now. Where did I put my programmer? There we go. Oh yeah, and I wanted to, before we start programming, real quick, let's throw down one more turbo vent and see how that affects the water production. We are currently holding like totally steady, not moving at all, with like twice as many plants as we used to have, but we should be able to do more than that, I think. So we're thinking do a turbo pump like right here to just increase the throughput. Hey, get out of here, cat. Come on, dude. Stop biting me, motherfucker. I love you so much. I bet there's something important going on. I bet the house is on fire. He's just trying to tell me because he's a good boy. I gotta give him some love. I have to pause and go walk the kitty cat. He's usually not needy when I'm streaming. He's very well behaved. Doesn't want to interrupt. Okay, so we turn on turbo pump. Maybe do a little bit of storage here as well. Can we get a storage ball? Do I got any extra storage balls? Can I cannibalize a storage ball, maybe? I'm gonna cannibalize a storage ball here, I think. I want this one. That go there. Pipe go here. Can't be red. Storage ball. Storage ball go here. Just giving this dude a little extra buffer. Alright, how's that working? Is this pressure down? 200 kilopascals now? 4 megapascals here. Oh, look at that. That is going up. I'm gonna save. That might go up hard enough that it starts like causing condensation and breaks some pipes or something. That seems good. So then you're working much better, I imagine. Input is 4 moles now. Alright, if that goes up, then you will go up. Pressure differential is going up. We'll see if you can keep up now. And the trick is not to blow this pipe. That would be bad. Might even want to add some logic to like keep track of the fill level on this guy. And not overfill. Right now I think the only logic we have driving this is to only turn on when there is not enough water in the tank. But it looks like it's going to be able to add too much pressure here and cause trouble. You can just see what happens. Give it a little time. How you doing? Do you go up now? You've been hovering at 260. I would like to see more. More water, please. Let's give it a little time. And hope it doesn't explode. It's gonna fucking explode. I'm pretty sure it's gonna explode. What's your logic like? You got no device and no device, I'm guessing? No device, no device. Aren't you programmed? What's going on here? Who wrote this code? What do we got? Okay, this is just doing pressure. And it's looking for output pressure. Oh, which was kept at 5,000. That might be part of it too. We were keeping the pressure here too low. But we don't want to be looking for output pressure here. We want to look for output pressure on the tank, basically. That's where our pressure is coming from. Okay, well that's really easy to change. Let's add that real quick. We'll add a device, alias, D steam tank, or it's not even a steam, yeah, we'll call it steam tank, that's fine. Steam tank is D0, so now it requires an input. Our output pressure, we can max it out. Let's go for something more. Let's do like 15 megapascals. We pretty much want to go right below the point where it's going to like cause condensation to break pipes. But more is better. The higher the pressure, the harder it's going to push through the whole system. So that's pretty okay. Okay, I remember. And then I think it's the filtering of the steam is the one that's tied to... Something's tied to, like, only allowing this to happen when we need liquid, basically. Because that's important. We don't want to overflow the liquid and cause that to explode. Anyway, what are we doing for pressure? It's no longer the output pressure here. It is the D0, which is the D steam tank pressure. So that's all we change. It's 15 megapascals. And we're taking the pressure of the steam tank instead of the pressure of this guy. Export into nothing. Brilliant. Let's try that again. Export. Alright, you will brake. Turn it off. Brakes because it does not have steam. Steam is U. Steam tank. Okay. And then D0 is steam tank. You're not plugged in? No? Not even a little? Neither are you? Unfortunate. Okay. Let's try that again. Steam tank. Okay. Good. Let's try that. What else? You're programmed to do the water tank? Gas sensor, water tank. Yeah. Gas sensor. Are you only running at night? That should change. You should run all the time. Let's double check that. That would be important. Import, edit. What are we doing with gas sensor? Nothing? Nothing. It's just there to confuse me. Perfect. Okay, let's see what that does. That should help. But this one's the one tied to the water tank, making sure that it only runs if we need water. This is where we're gonna block steam off. So this guy should work hard with the turbo pump helping to fill this guy to the pressure of 15 megapascals. This guy only turns on when we want more water in the tank. And we're shooting for like 50% water, if I remember correctly. And then the whole system goes. Let's see what that does. That should not overpressurize as long as 15 megapascals is safe here, and I don't see any explosions yet at 10. Water should start going up. It's going down. Perfect. We also just paused everything. Not surprising. Alright. So we'll see if that does anything. I wanted to do programming for you guys. Okay. How are we doing? You're up to 9. They don't even let anything in? Okay, so I think I'll basically want to do what I was saying, where we'll have a... we can do a check on the amount of ore in the silo, and we can turn on more of these if the ore is above a threshold. So every centrifuge will have its own constant that we can define for when it's going to turn on. I think we can just play with the IC chips individually. We don't need to spend too much time and effort there, like we did with the memory chips over here. Alright. What's that code gonna look like? Let's edit. Let's take the airlock code probably. And pull that apart. I don't know if we need this. I remember this was an overwhelming amount of stuff we didn't need last time. Basically all we need is the staging. It's too late. I'm here. We're doing it. Delete everything except the stage. Gonna keep the stage. Not the pressure. Yeah, not the pressure. Maybe RPM. And then the only device we're gonna have here is the silo. Okay, so we'll have the stage, we'll have the silo region count, maybe? R13. We will have a V throttle. We'll have V gas. That's pretty much it. What stages do we have? We're gonna have idle. We're gonna have emptying. We're gonna have let's see. I think this is all pretty okay so far. Idle, define stage, warm up. 2, define stage, running maybe, or like full speed. 3, then stage, slow down. 4, then stage, emptying. 5. Okay, so we'll idle until it gets some trigger to turn on, which is going to be some minimum amount in the silo, changing between every centrifuge. We'll go into warm-up stage. We'll go into full speed stage. Once that's done warming up, then we'll slow down and empty. We'll start with the idle stage. And then all of these need to be given functions. Stage warm-up is stage warm-up. Stage full speed. I feel like this should be just running. Stage running. Stage running. Stage slow down. Stage emptying. Stage running. Stage slow down. Stage emptying. Alright. And then we want to basically remove most things. Let's just get clean nothing functions for now. Delete the everything for the most part. Seems good. Okay. We've got stage idle. We're going to have stage warm up. We're going to have stage running. They're doing nothing right now. They just immediately jump to main. Idle, warm up, running, emptying. Complete becomes slow down. Okay. And we've got our load vars. Alright, so here's a shell of a program. So this does nothing so far. We have defined our input is just the silo, and then it's going to access itself with dB to look at the internal state. We've got the RPM, we've got the stage, we've got the silo reagent count, we've got the throttle, we've got the gas. We're also going to have the reagent count for this current device. These are all 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, different registers, no overlap. We've got our stages for idle, warm up, running, slow down, emptying, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hard code the initial stage to idle, start at idle. We probably are going to need like stage panic. Stage shit the bed. That might be a thing. We'll get there when we get there. But I'm assuming we might have to deal with the case where something goes wrong and the stress goes to 100%. And you need to fix things. Instead of sitting in stage running, we're going to need to go to stage slowdown at the very least. Anyway, we can handle that. We probably can just check for that in running and then go to slowdown. Anyway, what do we got here? Our main function yields. It's going to load our variables. It's going to branch based on stage and go do stage logic. Starting at stage idle and then going through the various stages down to emptying. Alright, now let's go for load vars. What are we loading here? We're loading the RPM. We're loading the silo reagent count. And then the... I don't even know if we need to load throttle and gas. We're going to just be manually setting those all the time, I think. But we are going to get the reagent count. Alright, so load vars. We will load into VRPM, VB RPM. RPM. We will load into V reagent count, DB reagents. We will load into V silo reagent count. It's going to be D silo reagents. Okay. So now we're tracking the RPM. We're tracking our internal count of reagents. We're tracking the silo count. I think this is basically all the variables we need to determine what we're going to do. Alright, we're going to need a constant. This is going to be the only thing that changes between the chips. In fact, it's tempting to give them a memory chip. We should probably do that. We get two variables. We've already got the silo. Let's also add a variable for D... like silo reagent threshold. That's gross. Min silo reagents. Could do that. This is the memory for min silo reagents. Alright, so now this is tied to a memory, and then we can just wire that up. And that'll prevent us. That'll let us share code. Alright, I'm gonna do the thing I said I wasn't gonna do. That's fine. So we have our min silo reagents. We're going to need to load that as well. That is alias v min silo reagents. It's going to be R9. That's going to come from the D silo reagents. Min silo reagents. It's going to be D min silo reagents setting. So whatever setting we have in the memory is going to get loaded in here. And that's where we'll specify. Alright, so let's save real quick. This is going to be called Centrifuge. Alright, so we're starting in stage idle. We want to idle until we reach the minimum threshold. So we will say, what is it, branch if less than. If the V silo reagent count, set silo reagents, nope, motherfucker. V silo reagents count, what is it? V silo reagent count, I just can't spell. Yep, just can't spell. Alright, if the silo reagent count is less than the min silo reagents, then jump to main. So, we are going to branch. Is branch relative? No. Branch. Branch if less than. If the V silo region count is less than the min silo regions that we've plugged into the memory, then we're going to go to main. So keep going to main until we have got enough regions ready to go. And we can set min silo regions to be -1 for one of them, and it'll always run. And then we could do like 5 for the next, and then 10 for the next, or something like that. So if it starts to build up a queue at all, we'll just turn on more centrifuges. But that's going to be the trigger point of when we want to start running, is when we have enough silos, or enough regions in the silo backed up. Let's turn on a new centrifuge. Okay, otherwise, if we don't do this branch to main, then that means that our silo regions is greater than or equal to the min silo region count, and we want to turn on. So for that, we just say move v stage warm up, change to the warm up stage. So that's the first idle stage. It's just waiting until we have something in the regions, or something in the silo. Oh, you're getting ads? Motherfucking ads. Are you serious? Missing all the programming. Stage warm up. Kitty, get out of here. Stop. Stop biting me. You're very cute. Let's see. Stage warm up. We wanted to... Just a second to let people get back real quick from ads. Are they over? Are the ads done? That's my bad, I missed that. Those were poorly timed ads. I was setting stuff up, walking through basic program. We've got stages ready to go. The idle stage is just waiting until we have enough in the silo to turn on. And then once that's the case, it moves to the warm-up stage. Warm-up stage, if I remember right, we wanted to do low throttle. So we will set the throttle. Let's set the dB throttle to 10. We set throttle to 10. We want to set the dB, what is it, the fuel? What is that? Gas? Let's take a look. Centrifuge. Combustion centrifuge. What do you have for fuel? It's going to be some right. I know throttle's one of them. We got that. Ooh, we should keep track of stress. That's a good variable. Let me look at the right variables. Combustion limiter. Okay. Combustion limiter? Combustion? Is combustion an option? I think it's limiter. Okay, combustion limiter. Let's set this to 10. We're going to give it just a little bit of fuel. So combustion limiter goes to 10. And then we say sleep for just like 2 seconds. Sleep for 2 seconds. And then turn off the combustion limiter. Let's also add some logic for keeping track of stress. Alias v stress is going to be R8. V stress is going to be load. V stress. dB stress. Okay, keeping track of stress. I'm going to confirm. Let's eat and drink real quick. Deliberately running the clock here to see what happens with our food and water. Over a little bit of time. Speaking of which, have you moved? Going down. Okay, that's the opposite of the right direction. Okay. Might need to look at that in a second. It feels like it's going down pretty quick. Anyway, dance. We were doing this guy, so we're doing the warm-up stage. Just thinking, what do we want to do here? So this is like the warm-up process, and now we need to wait until the RPMs are high enough. How do I want to do that? Just thinking, do we want like another warm-up phase? Do we want to do a small warm-up here until we get to like 200 or 300 RPM, and then do like 50% throttle until we get to 500 RPM, and then we're at full speed? Something like that might be good. Or do we just want to run this until we can go full speed? Might want like warm up 1, warm up 2. Let's do warm up 1, warm up 2. Warm up 1. Warm up 2. Change some values here so it keeps being incremental. So we're just going to sit here. We're going to do this, and then we're going to tell it to sleep again. This time we're going to sleep for a long time. Hey, get the fuck out of here, you cat terrorist. You can't keep biting me. I need to walk him. He's super needy, and I want to give him attention when he asks for it. But I also want to do this thing. So let's tell it to sleep for like 60 seconds, maybe. So we'll make it sit for like a whole minute. And then every minute, we'll give it just a teeny bit of gas. And we'll always have the throttle at 10. So it should always be going up, basically. A little bit of gas should keep it moving. And then we'll say... let's see. Branch if greater... Let's see. Branch if less than... V... RPM... It's going to be branch relative. If the RPM is less than 200, 250, something like that, then skip 2 lines. Skip 3 lines. Otherwise, if we have past 250 or equal to 250 RPM, then we want to change the stage. Move the stage to warm up 2. Right, that's the thing. Let's add stage warm up 2. Goes to warm up 2. Then warm up 2 needs to exist. Jmain. Jmain. Alright, so for our warm up 1 stage, we are going to branch relative if less than RPM 253. So if the RPM is less than or equal to, or sorry, less than 250, then it's going to jump 3 lines to right here. And it's going to go through the warm-up routine, giving 10% throttle, give a little bit of combustion for 2 seconds, turn off the combustion, and then sleep for 60. So it'll do a 60-second warm-up. And it'll keep doing that. It'll Jmain after that. So it'll keep doing this process of a little bit of combustion and 10% throttle until we have reached 250 RPM. At 250 RPM, we're going to go into stage warm-up 2. Stage warm-up 2 is going to be similar. I think at this point, we want to go for less than like 400 RPM or something. I'm just throwing out values here. We'll have to figure out how these work or what they look like. But we'll see. And then this is going to be similar logic where we're just looking for 400 RPM. At that point, we can move to stage running. But until then, and then Jmain, until then, we're going to skip 3 lines and do whatever logic we want here. So for that one, it's probably going to be setting the throttle to something higher. So we could set it to like 50 or even like 100. Probably do like 100, or let's do 75 maybe. $75, and combustion can be like 50. And then we can sleep for a little bit. Just keep checking. I don't even know if we need to do any sleeping. It'll just keep, we'll just turn stuff up a bit while it continues to warm up. Stage running, we're going to turn it up all the way, full throttle. And then it's going to need similar logic for when do I turn off. So, and going into the next stage of stage slowdown. Alright, so instead of basing it on the RPM, now we're basing it on the regents. What is it? Regent internal? Regent count? Regent count. The regent count, if it's less than 1,000, 800, how much do we want to do here? Say 900. I think it could fill to like 1,000, including all of the dirty ore. So maybe do we wait for all that to be done, or every 900 do we shut it off? I'll just do 900 for now. But if the region count is less than, let's actually make that a constant. We'll say define max regents. It's going to be 900. Alright, code, where'd you go? If the region count is less than max regents, then skip 3 lines and start doing full throttle. Otherwise, if the regents have reached 900, it's about time to unload the thing. So we will move to stage running. We'll jump to main so that we can enter stage running. Or no, not stage running. What am I saying? Stage slowdown. Okay, and then it's going to jump into stage slowdown. I really don't want to learn how to code. Do you have any scripts on the workshop? I was thinking I'll probably upload those eventually. I'm also still fixing them a little bit. Like, I write scripts. I wrote the airlock script, and then the next time I played, it was broken, and I changed it. So maybe, like, once this save is further along, I'll upload them all or something. I think people do generally upload their own stuff. You can take other people's code and tweak it a little bit. You could vibe code with ChatGPT a bit, maybe, but that's not great. Overall, I would just say feel free to like play with stuff. You don't have to do... I'm basically trying to solve everything with code, but you can do some basic stuff without having to learn a lot. So I would suggest don't be too hesitant, especially if you're already like comfortable doing some chips on the ground. It's really not much different to turn that into IC. It's the exact same commands, more or less. The coding's fun, though. I do recommend it. Alright, what were we doing? We were on stage running. Stage running is checking for the regents, and then it'll go to stage slowdown. Otherwise, it's just going to go full throttle. And I don't think we need to worry about stress or anything here at this point. Once the RPMs are high enough, we're just... Basically, we need to worry about stress on stage slowdown. Otherwise, we're pretty much good. So, for stage slowdown, we are looking to move to stage emptying when the V RPM is less than, we'll say, what was it? It's like 20 or 30 when it was safe to open. Okay, so branch relative if greater than. If the RPM is above 20, we're going to jump 3 lines. Otherwise, we're changing stage to stage emptying. And we are going to JMain. Okay. Otherwise, if we're in stage slowdown, we will say the throttle is The throttle is dependent on the stress. Let's see. So we will say the throttle is going to be, if the stress is greater than 50, the throttle is going to be 10. Otherwise, it's going to be 0. So I'm going to say move R0. This is our throttle for now. Do I have a throttle variable? I think I have a throttle variable. You just use this. Just for cleaner code, we'll say the throttle is going to be a 0. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Okay, if the stress is less than 50, then jump 2 lines and move to here. Otherwise, if the stress is greater than 50 or equal to 50, then don't jump 2 lines and set the throttle to 10. Finally, we will set the dB throttle to V throttle, and then call that good. Alright, so let's walk through that really quickly. So for our stage slowdown, we're going to branch relative if greater than. If the RPMs are greater than 20, then go ahead and jump 3 lines down to here. Otherwise, if the RPMs are less than equal to 20, then we want to change our stage to emptying, and we want to jump to main. And then we'll handle emptying in a bit. So this is going to be our breakout of the slowdown phase. When the RPM is low enough, we're going to break out and start emptying. Otherwise, otherwise we're in stage slowdown, so we want to determine what we're going to do with our throttle. We're pretty much just going to be keeping the combustion limiter and the throttle down all the way. I think combustion limiter should go to 0. That should be thing number 1. So we'll turn off the gas completely. We'll compute the throttle. The throttle is going to be hard-coded to 0 to start. If the stress is less than 50, then we will jump 2 lines, 1, 2, and then set the throttle. Otherwise, if the stress is greater than equal to 50, we'll say, alright, turn the throttle on a little bit, give it 10 throttle, and then that's what we'll set the throttle to be. So it's going to be 0 or 10, depending on the stress. And that should keep the stress down. I think when I was testing it by hand, all I had to do was, when the stress got high, give it a teeny bit of throttle for a teeny bit of time, and that was enough to let it cool down without overstressing. So we're going to fluctuate the throttle from 0 to 10 until the RPMs are down to 20 and the stress is low. And then at 20, we'll break into stage emptying. Stage emptying, we're going to set the throttle to be 0. And I suppose we're checking here to see what's our breakout. Our breakout is when the V reagent count come on now, I know this is a variable. The reagent count. Can I just not spell? What is going on? Reagent count All right, let's see. So, just thinking about what we need to do here. So stage emptying is going to have its breakout condition into the next stage when the reagent count is equal to 0. So we're going to branch relative if greater than 0. If reagent count is greater than 0, we're going to jump 3 lines, jump to here. Otherwise, we set the throttle to 0. We set dB open to 1. So we have the throttle off just in case it was still at 10, goes to 0. We open up the thing to release any internal reagents. We're going to let them go. And then we're just going to wait for this thing to empty. And at that point, we're going to change to stage idle. Stage idle, I think I want to do one more change to stage idle here. Stage idle should make sure that this thing is closed. So that's when we'll close it. And then restart the whole loop. Alright, I think this is roughly correct. We might want to change values a little bit. And take it for a test spin. But let's do a quick walkthrough. Let's make sure stuff's lining up. We have the idle, warm up 1, warm up 2, running, slow down, emptying, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are expecting our silo and our min silo reagents from a little memory chip. Stage idles goes to stage idle, warm up 1 goes to warm up 1, warm up 2 goes to warm up 2, running goes to running, slow down goes to slow down, emptying goes to emptying. Idle is going to close the thing and wait until the silo count's above the min silo, and then it's going to set the stage to warm up. Stage warm up 1 is going to wait until the RPMs are, let's see, if the RPMs are less than 250, it's going to jump down to here. Otherwise, if the RPM is high enough, it'll move to the next stage of stage 2, has some throttle, some combustor, sleeps for a second or two. Okay, so adds a little fuel, keeps the throttle at 10. Warm up 2 is going to again try and go up to 400 RPMs before it goes full speed. And this is just going to increase the throttle and increase the combustion. I feel like this should be lower. We'll see, we'll have to play with it. Okay, and then once we hit 400, we're at full speed. So at that point, we're just doing full throttle, full combustion, waiting until the reagent count is above the threshold of max reagents. And then once we're above or equal to max reagents, we go to stage slowdown. Stage slowdown is waiting until the RPMs are below 20. And then it'll go stage emptying. Otherwise, it is turning off the combustion, toggling the throttle based on the stress. Okay, and then looping forever. Seems good. Emptying, let's see, once it goes to stage emptying, we're waiting till the reagent counts are 0 to go to stage idle. Otherwise, our throttle is 0. And we are opening the thing to try and unload everything. Alright, I think this is more or less it. I'm sure there's something wrong, because that's a lot of code. Let's maybe see what happens if we run this. I'm trying to make a centrifuge. I'm trying to tell it what to do. I'm just programmatically saying do some stuff for some time without really being too concerned about stress. If we warm up slow enough and cool down slow enough, then this should work in theory. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to give you a thing, and I'm going to export it, and I'm going to keep that in my inventory. We are going to go run outside, and I'm even going to remember to put on my suit before I leave the house this time. I'm going to remember. I'm saying it out loud so I remember. I'm going to remember. Can't stop me. Here we go. That's hella deep. Do you have coding background? I have been writing code for like 20 years. And that's where my money comes from. I have a degree in computer science. And I've made my own websites and apps and stuff. That's not to fluff my resume at you too hard, but just to say I've been coding for a long time. And this is pretty directly relevant. It's one of my favorite parts of this game. It's a lot of fun. Okay, that immediately breaks, as we expect. It needs a memory chip. And it needs a... needs programming. So where's my memory chip? I think I had some spares floating around. I remember I picked some up, didn't I? Did I not? Let's just steal a memory chip from the ground. Get over here. These aren't getting used anymore. I'll just take these. Alright, so the memory chip is the threshold for when it's going to turn on. Let's throw those down. They can live here. That's a perfect spot. Let's do there. Okay. So this guy will be programmed to do, I don't know, like 100 or something. How many are in there? 50? Let's say 100. You are going to be -1. Nope. Can I not do negatives? -1. Okay. And then they need to be named. You should be... what are you? It's like the... First off, what's that variable called? What did I name the variable? Dsilo is the silo. This is the min silo regents. She should be like -1 maybe. Just make this something visible. Hey, I love you. I'm gonna give you attention. Please stop biting me. Please stop fucking biting me. Oh, my cat. Okay, so -1. There we go. So you've been programmed. I'm gonna save, and then I'm gonna turn it on, and then we're gonna watch it do its thing and see why it breaks. One more thing, just for the sake of testing here. Let's say you're only gonna do... Instead of doing 900 for the max regents, I want to see it go through the whole thing inefficiently. So we'll say 50. Then export that. Okay. Save. Take it for a test run. Immediately breaks. Perfect. Line 96. What is wrong with line 96? I imagine something. 96 is loading the V silo regent count from D silo regents, so we're using the wrong variable there. This is the... what? Pull out our thing and look at the quantity is the number. Okay. So we will change you to be quantity. Okay, export that, throw it in, close it, save again, take it for a run. Alright, next one is line 39. Edit, line 39. What's wrong with line 39? Line 39 is move V stage. Stage warm up. Warm up. Stage warm up. Doesn't exist. Stage warm up 1 is what we're looking for. Alright, save again, turn it on. Alright, we see it gave 2 seconds of fuel and throttle 10. Now it should do a minute. It should chill for 1 minute. Well, the RPMs go up, and it'll just keep giving a teeny bit of RPMs until whatever threshold we've specified, which was something. I don't remember. Let's see how this does. Every minute it'll give just a teeny bit of gas. And it's looking for, I think, 250 is where I told it to do more. I am using normal fuel. This is just regular fuel from our fuel mixer, which is keeping a perfect ratio for oxygen and volatiles. Alright, how we doing? We're schmoving. I see why you can be as aggressive with the centrifuge. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Is this aggressive? I'm trying to be conservative and slow, prevent explosions. Alright, let's see. So at 250, it should turn up the throttle and gas, and that might be aggressive. Let's see what it does. Don't bite me. I see you gearing to bite me. Don't you dare fucking bite me, you beautiful terrorist. I've had enough bites for one day. Alright, so 250 it's supposed to turn off, but it only does one cycle of the iteration. Or it does one cycle every minute, so it's not going to check for like a whole minute here. Meanwhile, it just continues to speed up. I don't think that's really a problem. This doesn't need to be effective. There, the minute kicks in, and now we have a little bit of gas and higher throttle. 0% stress is not impressive, so we could probably increase that to like 100%. But it's just chilling here. I'm gonna do that now, so this stage could go faster. Let's say throttle goes to 100% here. Can I turn that up? It's gonna immediately turn it down. Yeah. What about 20 gas, 100%? I don't think it's going to struggle at all with 20 gas, 100%. It's already 20 gas. And then what does that do? That goes until 400. And then it goes to full speed. Go faster. 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 Alright, there we go. Are you gonna stress at all, or are you gonna chill out pretty quick? Turbo fuel, gotcha. Turbo fuel, does that go faster as well? This thing I don't think is gonna hit as high in RPM as turbo fuel. Okay, but this is looking like it's working. Stress is at 0, everything's full throttle. RPMs are only going up. We're in the running phase now. It's going to run until there is, what, 50 processed ore? And then it's going to go into emptying phase. So if it does that successfully, then I think we're good with this program. It's not fancy, but it's not stressing. And it's able to reach full RPM without any issues. Nice. That's pretty effective. Almost ready. Let's see how the worm down goes, or if it even enters that correctly. Oh shit, it does twice as fast, twice as many RPMs. That's interesting. Yeah, that's not... maybe someday. But that's not really necessary here. Alright, so everything's at 0. At 50 it should go to 10. That should relieve some stress. Good, that's working. And then once we get below 50, it should go down again. There it is. That'll increase stress, and it's just going to keep fluctuating there. Alright, now that all seems good. The only thing that might matter here is if there's like more material in there, is that going to affect the stress? It could be. We'll have to see if it seizes up when we do a full load with 1,000 regents. But so far, this is working perfectly. Let's see it get all the way finished. What else do I want to change here? I'm going to change the code to be back to a smarter value for when we're going to empty, which is like 900. Overwrite the code for centrifuge, call that good, confirm. Maybe program its friend right next to it here. But until we plug in more stuff, I don't think we're going to be needing more centrifuges anytime soon. And we don't want to plug in too much stuff here. This is only doing silver and gold, and pretty quickly we're going to have way more of that than we need. We've already set up an overflow valve so that that'll get just dumped into the lava. Alright, that goes there. You are number 2. What is that? Min 2 or something? What did I call you? Min 1? Min 1, min 2. You can just add more as necessary. Min 2. Okay, that breaks immediately. You need programming. Silo is silo. Min 2 for your logic. Okay, you can shut that, turn it on. Nothing should happen, right? You should not be on, because that is at 100, and we are not at 100. Good, so that's working. You're chilling. Alright, you need to be programmed, but I need to see you complete and totally do the full cycle. How's the new Vulcan train? I am having a good time with it. I like the new map. It's fun. It feels similar. I started on the plateau. I like lakes of lava. I guess it is different. There's more mountainous, more lakes of lava. It's got more features, more character. I haven't done the exploration for deep mining. I gotta play with that. That's probably coming up pretty quick here. Once this is done, we could just get ore and plug it into the centrifuge system. Then have an infinite supply of material. Just fixing the suit there. Alright, how you doing? Did you do the thing? Still chilling? At 20, it should pull this open until it's empty, and then it should all restart, and then we'll know that this code is good. Almost done with that test lap. Why not just define values in the chip? Sorry, I'm bad at reading code here. Which values are you thinking of? The memory chip here? I was thinking define the memory chip separately so we can save the code or share the code between all devices, but have a different threshold for when they're going to turn on, so we can programmatically turn on more centrifuges if the silo starts getting backed up at all. Alright, there. Did you empty? You emptied and then you restarted and you're turning back on again like you're supposed to. Okay, so this is working correctly. Let's turn it off. Let's give it the updated code just to change the release to be 900 ore instead of 50, which we were just doing for testing. But this looks like it's working. I need to run it and see it actually work long term, not seizing up. But I think we're good here. This seems good. Cool. So that is, we can just walk away from here. That is not only going to be providing us with an infinite amount of silver and gold, but like I was just saying, we can plug in more regents right here. So if we get more collection going from anything, we can just plug that in, and then it'll go in the silo, go in the centrifuges. We can add as many as we'd like. We could have more. I think 2 is probably okay for now. We're not even running 1 full speed, really. But this guy will be cruising at all times, processing stuff. Excuse me. This guy will handle, if we hit 100 right now, is the threshold for when this one will turn on. So if we ever do start to back up, we at least have 2. That all plugs into the auto furnace in the sky. Where this is going to get sorted and then run through a furnace and then come out into our mall. And finally, once we have enough mats, we've got an overflow chute here for anything extra, because we are going to fill up on silver and gold. It might take a while, but those are for sure just infinite supply constantly dripping in here. So that's going to overflow and then just dump into the lava down below. Complete the whole processing layer here. Alright, that's a nice quick upgrade there. We're going to have infinite gold and silver pretty quick here. And what else? I want to just like zoom around for a minute. What else is available to us here? You should be, you point home. I'm looking for this guy. Let me save and just zoom around and see if I can find any useful stuff in the area. Fill up the suit as well. Or the jetpack, I mean. How about some water? Some food? And yeah, I've done a teeny bit of zooming, and I could only see like 1 region for the most part. But we'll see. And maybe the devs have deliberately like put some resources nearby. We're pretty on top of where we started for the plateau region. Right, I'm going to save and zoom. This one is gold and silver, which we have working. Let's just go zoom around and see. Can we get some anything else going? What do you think lava's made of? I'm guessing silver and gold. I remember there was lead on the other side in the other basin. There's lead here, at least for a little bit. That's pretty unexciting. But we can get some lead here and directly tie that into the base pretty easy, I think. I'm building a rocket to see where mine are. So yeah, I heard that you can use a rocket to see what's going on. Thank you for the help there. I'll go look around and see what we can find. But yeah, that's a good reason to launch a rocket. That's the thing we should do soon too. Especially now that we have a good supply of fuel. If we have a good supply of fuel. Still not 100% certain on that. Need to see the water improve more. Ooh, okay. Cobalt. So we could probably get like cobalt and lead if we set up a little base right on the edge here. Here's lead. Here's cobalt. Okay. Actually, I think I want to write this down. Okay. And I wonder, is this going to come out as regions that need processing? Or if it's pure lead and pure cobalt, can we just feed that straight into the system? Let's see. Let me make a new thing here. I open up gaming, make new file. Oops, there we go. This is called, what are you called? Ore regions. It is a table where we have X, Y, does Z matter? Z is vertical, right? No, Y is vertical. X, Z. X and Z. This is 951.867. This is cobalt and lead. Alright, there's something. Okay, so we can set up a little base there. I don't know if I'd want to set up chutes going all the way back to our home. Where do I even live? Kitty, if you bite my legs, I'm gonna scream. Don't you fucking bite my legs. I see you gearing to bite my legs. I'm gonna play with you soon. I'm gonna take a break just so I can play with you. But I'm getting upset now. I can only take so many bites. You can only bite a human so many times before he gets grumpy. Alright, this is also close to home. We got nickel at 907, 630. You got a plan for rocket transportation? Can you even do that? I was looking that up. I was thinking, like, how do you move stuff? I don't think I want to use the rover. Because I mean, look. Yeah, you're going to use a rover here? What am I supposed to, like, make a gigantic bridge across the whole map? Maybe. Other than that, rover's not going to be useful, I think. So you probably just zoom around with a bunch of backpacks. For the most part. But it would be ideal to use rockets, and in particular, if you could, like, program the rockets. That would be pretty fantastical. But I don't know if that's a mechanic yet. I know you can use probably use rockets to, like, go out to distant planets and mine. I imagine that's still a mechanic. Ooh. No thank you. Nickel, silver, lead. I think we have better supplies of all of those. Okay, you can use rockets? If that's the case, then yeah, sure. You could even make, like, individual rockets for... Ooh, silicon. Ooh. Silicon is at 5. Oops. 5, 2, 1, 3, 8, 9. Sorry, just writing stuff down. Okay. But yeah, you could have, like, a rocket for every base. And then set them to auto fly based on when you need things. That would be nice. You could probably programmatically control a rocket to go to a bunch of different destinations too. Ooh. Big yawn. Just seeing what's, like, immediately around though. There's stuff that we could zoop to super fast. That could be nice. Okay. So fuel is affected by gravity then? And this is a relatively easy planet? That seems promising. Sounds like you know things. Did you make this game? Are you a dev? It's a good game. Say yes if you want me to be impressed. Alright, so there's some stuff in the immediate vicinity. It's probably good to scout with a rocket. It's going to be a little easier to figure out what's going on. But I might want to collect some of that. Resources are resources. Anything we can set up a camp for real quick, especially if we can reach chutes all the way to our base. That's just like a free infinite supply. Could have infinite lead, infinite cobalt, infinite silicon. Those would be pretty immediately nice to have, and it's probably worth just running chutes all the way over there. Maybe not power. I was thinking I would do the Stirling engines again and just reuse the program we have for collecting daytime air. I think we could probably throw down a little outpost with like a couple vents, a big air container, a couple Stirling generators, a battery. It would take very little to get it running, I would think. You are a game dev, but not for RocketWorks. RocketWorks is good. I hear they're making the next Kerbal Space Program. I'm happy that these devs are working on that. They brought back the original Kerbal Space Program developer person dude. Promising. That's always been one of my favorite games. Been waiting for that to have a good iteration for a long time. Been waiting for that one and been waiting for Battlefield to have a good iteration. All the good games are coming, maybe. Unless I jinx it by saying that. I hope not. Okay, well, we found a couple regions. Let's maybe check this mountain real quick and then call it good. I think I gotta take a break pretty quick here. I gotta give Kitty Cat some attention. He's been very needy for a long time. And he hasn't even bit me to the point of bleeding, which he can do. He has the power. I've seen it. It's gentle bites. Loving bites. Looks like cobalt. No, thank you. Alright, let's zoom home. Zoom. That's awesome. That will be fun. I'm excited. Kerbal Space Program. Make Kerbal Space Program great again. I lost my house. I found my house. It's hiding behind this rock. Very sneaky of you, house. Well played. Okay, and how is the water supply doing? Is that going up at all yet? It's been around 260. 260 in the pipe. We're at 264. Okay. So it's going up a little now. I'm not super happy with that. That's not amazing. Let's give it a little more time, see what happens. But it is going up, and it's going up with the bigger greenhouse. Still, in the past, I've had like much more water production than this. I feel like something's off. Gotta get it working well. Water production is pretty important. It might still just be a case of like waiting for the fuel tank to fill too. The fuel tank's been pretty low. Come on, big jumps. Well, that seems good. I gotta take a break. I'm having a good time, but Cat needs attention. And I've been ignoring him for too long. I could use some lunch, too. I think it's break time, cat time, lunch time. That's not bad, though. That was just a couple hours and got the centrifuges up and running. Those are nice to have. It's a good key component in our system that can plug in well with the auto furnace and any other ore generation we get going. Now we just plug those into the centrifuges, and it'll just start filling our maw. So give that some time, and we should see some gold and silver piling up. We should have like an infinite supply of those, basically. I also we gotta automate this to automatically provide resources to the crafting stations and the furnace, generate its own ingots, add the last couple of vending machines for the super duper alloys. That'll be fun to do. But that's another day. This seems good. Water production's a little better. Centrifuges are going. Base is looking good. Still need to just literally clean up. There's some cleanup to do here. It's gross. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with this base. This is a good save so far. Alright, I am taking a break. Break time, cat time.